Good afternoon, everybody. For those who I may not know, my name is Tony Felker. I'm President and CEO of the Frisco Chamber of Commerce, and I am joined by Mr. Chris Lee, who's our Governmental Affairs Coordinator at the Chamber. And to say that we are in new and uncharted waters is definitely an understatement, is it not, Chris?
This is definitely an unprecedented time for many reasons, and it's been exciting at the Chamber trying to figure out the best ways that we can get involved here in the community and represent our different businesses.
And I think the first thing to stress to everybody is that, yes, we are close to the public at the office, but we are definitely working hard for the business community. So we are each broadcasting from our homes, as is our entire team. So we're doing our part, and we ask everybody else to do their part. It's interesting, Chris, just in the last, if you had told me, I think 2 weeks ago that I'd be on Zoom doing calls like this and ones that we're recording on top of that, and as we'll talk about creating a library, I never would have believed you, but we are learning new things. And I think part of what we're learning is new technology and things that once we get through this trying times are going to help us in business going forward. Would you not agree to that?
No, I would absolutely agree. It's been a very interesting time, and it's been great seeing so many different businesses adopt new technologies and bring in different skills that they've never necessarily used before, and really tackling this new challenge in an exciting new way.
So bottom line is we've been doing a series at the Chamber over the last 3 to 4 months that we called Conversation at the Chamber. And during those meetings, we would bring in primarily government officials that were critical to the business community, learn more about how they impact the business community and things like that. Obviously, those type of events are no longer possible, and we're now working at virtual type meetings, and especially during these times, providing information and resources that our business community can use and learn from. So this is our introductory, our brand new, kicking it off, Conversations with the Chamber. And today it'll be the two of us as we sort of talk about the state of the business community, what we're doing in Frisco and beyond, and kind of giving you some ideas about what we might be doing going forward. But we hope that this is something that we will be doing probably 3 to 4 times during the week with critical information. We want to hear back from everybody in terms of what you want to hear about, and it's very much fluid and in motion. So with all that in mind, you guys, please be gentle on us, be easy on the critiques as we get into this for the first time, and kind of going from there. But Chris, anything you want to add to that in terms of the overall discussion that we're looking to have here?
Yeah, well, in the same vein that the conversation at the Chamber had, there's a lot of things that are coming from different governmental entities. And so we want to keep that conversation going. So this conversation with the Chamber is going to be very important in our eyes, because there's so much that's happening from the government side, whether it's the federal level or state level or county level or even city level. So many things going on that it all impacts you. And so I've been very busy kind of tracking all that stuff, and we want to be able to have this platform to share that information with you, the vital information. And I want to echo what you said as well. If you have different concerns or specific concerns about different things that are going on, we want to hear that. We want to be able to shape this series in a way that is the most informative to our members and our community here in Frisco. And so if you could please be gentle, as Tony said, but please share any concerns or any questions that you have that you need some clarification on. We can dive in a little bit deeper with the series, just as we did a conversation at the Chamber, where we can dive in a little deeper on some policy issues. And there's so much going on right now that we want to be able to dive in with this as well.
One of the things I noted is we try to keep it very real at the Chamber. We're all about business, but we're all about fun and keeping it real. And I notice right now, Chris, your name on the screen is actually Karen Kim. I think you may have logged in when she set up the call, and Karen is actually in the background helping us record all of this. So in case anybody's confused, that's really Chris Lee and not Karen Kim. Karen's in the background there. So
as we said earlier, it's new technology. We're learning how to use it all together. We will figure this out in time for sure.
So back to serious issues, Chris. Literally in the last hour or so, we've had a couple of new orders that have been issued by Collin County and Denton County that basically follow up on what Dallas County did a day or so ago. I can't even remember exactly how long ago, but I'm going to give the overall kind of discussion topic and where we are, and then I'll have you go into more of the specifics. But as I understand it, basically right now, as it relates to Dallas County, Collin County, and Denton County, the wordings are a little bit differently, but in essence, we are all now basically in a stay-at-home shelter in place mode unless somebody has essential needs, grocery, pharmacy, veterinarian, or if they're an essential business. Is that basically the best way to sum it up?
Absolutely. So the wording, as you said, is all very similar, but it is different. And I couldn't tell you, I don't want to get into the weeds on all why it's different, what the differences are. But I think the essential message that we want to get across to everyone is that everybody's trying to do their part. We want everybody, if you're not an essential business or an essential personnel for, let's say, hospitals or grocery stores or anything of that nature, we want you to stay at home. That's why it's called the stay-at-home order, the executive order. There's a lot that we're trying to interpret with every different piece of executive order that's coming out in the area. And the idea is that they're all similar. Cities can go a little bit further than counties in their restrictions, and I expect we will see a little bit coming from Frisco here in the next hours, days, who knows at this point, minutes. But there's definitely a lot going on that side that is it gets very confusing. But essentially all you need to know is that they're essentially the same thing, and they're all encouraging businesses and individuals to stay at home and do your part in all of this and not socialize groups of 10, don't be in groups larger than 10, stay at home. I mean, really, that's what they're trying to drive home here.
Right. And one of the things that, I sent out an email earlier today to all of our members, to the entire business community that we had in our database. And I want to give a little bit of, if you will, cover to our community leaders. I mean, they're in a no-win situation right now. A lot of people feel we should have been in this place days ago, maybe even a week ago. Other people are very much of the opinion that the business community needs to be out there working. We need to be driving this economy forward, and that starts with business being open. Bottom line is, all of our community leaders at the city, at the state, at the county, the federal level, nobody's quite sure what to do. We've never been in this sort of a situation, and they're trying to balance what is best for the public health, what is best long-term to minimize the effects that this virus is going to have, and hopefully get us back to doing business as soon as possible. But I know they're getting slammed from every direction. No matter what they do, they can't do right by everybody. And I think the bottom line is, we are where we are at this point in time. We need to do the best going forward. We need to have the most information out there. We'll talk more about how we're trying to share that information with everybody. But I think we can't just urge strongly enough that everybody, given where we are, let's do our part. Let's try to minimize the spread of this virus as much as possible. And let's get back to doing business as normal as we ever will. And let's get back to recovery mode.
Well, and absolutely. And just as you said, I've listened to so many city council members, county judges. I've listened in on these calls, and they're not taking these decisions lightly. Every decision, they want to keep businesses open. They don't want to see the potential long-term effects of businesses shutting down because of this. That's not what they want. They've got to weigh the public health officials that they listen to on a daily basis. Every call, I mean, some of these calls are hourly, some of these are daily, and they're getting a lot of information from the public health officials. And our elected officials are just trying to do their best in this very unprecedented situation to balance the business interest as well as the public health and public safety interest. And so they are seriously making some of the hardest decisions I think they'll ever make as elected officials right now. And I think it's incumbent on us, or important on us, to make sure that we understand that they're in a hard position when they have to make these decisions. And so understanding their perspective in all of this is, I think, very important as well. They're trying their best to do all of this the best way possible, but public health and public safety is such a priority for them that rock in a hard place. I mean, it's just like you said, we've never been here before, and so they're trying their best to figure it all out.
Yeah, in light of giving a little bit of humor to the current situation, I remember an old joke that used to go, you're in a recession when your next door neighbor is out of work. You're in a depression when you're out of work. A little bit of light humor, trying to make an attempt, because I know there are a lot of people that already are feeling very intense cash flow shortages and hurting their business. We know workers, especially in the restaurant, hospitality, hotel business, have already been let go. I mean, people are hurting already. Everybody is already being impacted. And that's one of the reasons that we put and continue to add and put new information on our resource page, which can be reached at just at friscochamber.com. You and Karen are working along with the entire team at updating information on there, providing people resources, links, because we know a lot of key people, a lot of decision makers and business owners right now are literally making and thinking about making decisions today about, do they lay people off? Do they shut down business, short-term, temporary, long-term, for good? And we want to try to get as much information out there to people today so that as you're making those decisions, you have as much information at your fingertips as possible to understand what sort of assistance might be coming your way and to help that in your decision-making process. The more we can keep people at work or on the payroll, the sooner we're going to get back to recovery. But we also know businesses are hurting today. So can you expand a little bit more on that? Some of the resources we're looking at, and I understand everything is fluid right now. Nothing is being finalized. So take that as a caveat out there, but talk a little bit more about what we're hoping to share with people.
Absolutely. So like you just said, we have our resource page. So if you go to friscochamber.com, there's a link right there at the top that can take you to our resource page. And Karen and I have been working on this hand in hand, nonstop for a week, trying to get all of the resources in the most digestible format possible. There's so much information that's being sent out right now, and so much information that's going on. And we're just trying to give you as much information as you can in bite-sized pieces that you can actually digest. And so on our website right now, I'm scrolling through it. We have resources for businesses, HR and employment laws when it comes to what's coming down from the federal level as far as paid sick leave and family leave, as well as some of the stimulus conversation that's happening, all of those types of pieces of information. We're trying to give you in bite-sized chunks on our website, who it applies to, how long some of it's going to take. We have SBA loan information on there as well, and I'm sure Tony and I will talk about this here in a moment. But those are some of the different resources that we're trying to give you and as easily as understandable as possible. So we've got the process for applying for SBA loans. We'll have other opportunities as well. SBA loans are a big point of conversation right now, but we also want to give our community other resources that might be available right now through different banking situations. We're working on getting as much of that information as possible. And as Tony said, again, this is very fluid. So literally our website yesterday looked very different than it does today. And I'm sure tomorrow we'll have more information and it might look even a little different. But we're trying to get that out there as best as possible. So hang in there with us because there is so much going on. We really want to get it out there as easily understandable as possible. We've got grants. We've got Facebook has grants out there. Intuit QuickBooks has grants out there. There's relief funding through Yelp. I mean, there are organizations all over the place. And this is all on our website. I'm reading it right off of our website right now. Unemployment benefits through Texas Workforce Commission. That information is out there. We've got a lot going on our website. So please go ahead and check that out. If there's something that's not there that you are looking for, again, please let us know and we can try to get some of that information either to you or available on our website.
And I keep challenging you and Karen to put it out there in a way that's concise, simple, as I say, in real English that anybody can understand. But I think so many people are being overwhelmed right now with the amount of information that's coming to them, the speed of information that's coming to them. I don't know how many emails I've received today on COVID-19, and it's hard to keep up with that. So I can't say that you guys have got it all there completely, but you're working hard to make certain that it is there in bite-sized chunks in ways that people can understand easily and to be able to tell what might apply to them given their particular circumstances. In particular, we're trying to put information out there for individuals who may have been displaced, we hope on a temporary basis. We think at some point when the federal government could come up with the next phase 3 stimulus bill, which will really apply to a lot of people, we think there might be some individual checks that may be sent out. We don't know exactly how much. That might apply to workers. We've also got a job bank up there to connect displaced workers with temporary part-time work that may be out there right now. But we also hope to add information for small to medium-sized businesses to help them make those decisions about, can they stay in business, for how long, do they need to lay off, should they maybe keep people on the payroll because they might have some incentives down the road to keep that and keep people employed. So those are all things that we're looking at to the resource page out there and deliver to you. So that's your task, Chris, you and Karen, to put all that in order.
Yeah, and it's a big task, but we're ready for it. We're excited to do it. It keeps me going every day through all of this to try to be a part to help all of our businesses here in the Frisco community and in Collin and Denton counties as well. I mean, we have a pretty broad touch with our network here, and we want to be a resource for all of them. We're trying our best for sure.
Now, I know a lot of people that may be watching this recorded, they're going to love us being on here. And several people I can tell already want the two of us to be back and moderating this every time we have this. I'm sure there are also some people who say, I don't want to listen to the two of them all the time. So can you tell us a little bit more about what you have in mind for conversations with the Chamber going forward? This is really just kicking it off. What can people expect to hear from us going forward?
Yeah, so going forward, we have a list of ideas, a list of topics that we want to cover. Some of them include HR and payroll, as far as the phase 2 of the federal packages that you might have heard about in the news. A lot of that touches on the sick leave, paid sick leave, and the family leave programs as well. So we want to get a professional in here to really talk about the ins and outs of how that impacts your businesses. We're hoping at some point when we have an opportunity to speak to somebody maybe from the hospitals in the Frisco community, the state of the Frisco's healthcare system, kind of where we are as a community. We're looking at SBA disaster loans. So we get somebody from Collin County or maybe Denton County Small Business Development Center to come in and speak about that. Maybe even some local bankers to talk about micro lending or some other lending options that would be available to businesses here in the community. We're also hoping to get a few elected officials potentially joining us as well and kind of talking about what they're going through and what potentially is coming down the pipeline to help our businesses here in the community. Everybody from Mayor Cheney to our state reps and maybe even county judges. We really want to touch on as many of those as possible. And those are the ideas that we have, and we're trying to work through that. But if there's a topic that you haven't heard me list or something that you might be interested to hear more about, again, please shoot us an email. My email is clee, Lee, at friscochamber.com. And you can shoot me an idea, Tony T. Felker at friscochamber.com. And we're going to be all ears, and we want to be here as a resource for you.
Right. You can send us emails, anybody on the team, or just emails to info@friscochamber.com. That'll get to us. Chris, as you're listing off the topics, I know a lot of businesses, payroll, people, and rent are the two biggest, in many cases, the two biggest things. And we want to work with our businesses to see how we can help them manage those two major costs. Obviously, we're going to bring some people in to talk about, is it the right time to cut people temporarily, things to think about and making that decision. Rent is also a big factor, and I think very soon we'll have some people on here to discuss rent and how to work with your landlord. A lot of small and medium-sized businesses who have never been through something like this, we've never been through something like this, may not understand it might be in the best interest of all parties, the tenant and the landlord, to work on negotiating that lease in some way. Just hypothetically, maybe the next 3 months might be some sort of deferred rent for the next 3 months that can then be added on to the end of the lease or amortized over the remainder of the lease. There are some things like that as business owners are making decisions on how best to move forward, we want to bring in professionals to work on topics like that people can literally apply to their decision-making process today, tomorrow, and how to move forward. So those kind of topics are ones that we're going to bring forward. But we really want to hear from the business community, what they want to hear about, what they need to hear about. I think we all know we need to be washing our hands and social distancing. We're not going to be talking about that at this point. Unfortunately, we're far beyond that at this point. So we want to bring in things that are relevant. So send us that information. All of our team is busy reaching out to the entire membership and beyond, the community as a whole, and making certain, how are you doing? What are the things that are impacting you? Please let them know if you have questions. Even if they don't know the answer, they've been given instructions to write that question down, give it to somebody on the team so we can get back to you and respond to you, one-on-one or as a discussion topic here. We don't want to go on and on this one. We just want to give everybody an idea of what to expect going forward. What else would you like to add, Chris?
I think I'm just going to repeat myself if I keep talking. So if anybody has any questions, again, shoot us an email at info@friscochamber.com. like Tony said, we've got a lot that we're going to be going over, and so we want to keep this one short. And I'm really looking forward to bringing some of that information to you and to be that resource here in the community for y'all.
And on behalf of the Frisco Chamber of Commerce, all of our business organizations, elected officials, I just want to let, and that's just one I gotta keep it together. Everybody's going to say no emotions here. But I just want to say we are with you. Frisco, North Texas, we are with you. We want to stay strong. As we said before, we've never been in this situation. We're in new territory. We're all in this together. We're all learning and just going as we can. Somebody said, I didn't want to be in this boat, but now that we are, we just got to paddle as best we can and just let everybody know. In the email that I sent out this morning, I also added a little request. We're going through a lot. People are out of touch or overly in touch if they've got kids and pets and working from home. So we're different working environment. But as you're out there, as you're taking a walk around the block, as you see somebody passing by, and this is my corny side of me, but if you would give a complete stranger a wave, give them a thumbs up, give them something to say, thank you, and we're all in this together. If they're out and about giving the new orders, they're probably either doing essential services for them and their family, or they're performing an essential duty, first responder, healthcare, and just let them know that we appreciate them and we're all in this together. We will get through all of this. I'm not sure, and I have no idea how long, but we're going to be doing our part to make certain that all of us get through this as soon as possible with minimal cost. And when the time comes, we're going to come back stronger than ever. So with that, I'm going to give you the last word, Chris, and leave it at that.
Well, one thing I can say, I've been with the Chamber for about 2 months, and the passion that Tony just showed is something that is echoed through every team member here at the Chamber. And I would be in an entirely different place, and I think Frisco would be in an entirely different place if we didn't have Tony at the helm here at the Chamber guiding businesses through all of this. So I want everyone else to know that he is the passion that drives all of us here at the Chamber, and we really want to do our part to help everybody we possibly can. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you, Tony.
I can't let you have that last word. It takes everybody. We're all in this together. This is a team. In Frisco, we talk about partnerships and team members all the time. This is a time more than ever that we got to make that happen, not only in Frisco, throughout North Texas, everywhere. We're in this together. Stay strong, everybody. We're going to come back. We're going to recover strong, and you'll be hearing much more from us. So stay tuned. We'll be adding more. We'll be building a library of all of these discussions going forward. Let us know what you need. Stay strong. Be safe.